Good morning. Let's get started. All right. So, GameStop broke this major trend line. We've been mentioning this lately, but big trend line right there, broken, and then conveniently they dropped another offering on it. So, pretty crazy for the GameStop investors. Hate to see that, but that's what happens every time GameStop goes up. Ryan Cohen drops $1 billion offering on it and crashes it right back down where it's supposed to be because it's got too much hype behind it and it's not supposed to be up this much. So they're just queuing up these offerings. So anytime this thing pops, they can make another $1 billion. So they've done this again and again. Now, Ryan Cohen had a buy-in right here into this dip. That was a perfect buy-in. So, he is holding a lot of shares, so he doesn't want to see this thing totally die. But basically, it's going to do what it did last time, probably. And all these light blue arrows are the Ryan Cohen buy-ins. So we had the crazy run over here in 2020 from $1 to $100. And then double top, fade, lower high, fade, which is kind of where we're at now. We're into this double top, high, double top right here. It's probably just going to fade back down. So until the cat comes back, which he comes back every 4 years or so to make a, few hundred million. This is probably not going to do much. So, there you have it. GameStop back down. If you like it low, it's back to the 20s, low 20s. Not really interested right now. But I do think there's going to be some bounce opportunities in this. Just like back over here, exact same stuff. You had this trend break. Boom, came down hard. Found a bottom, bounced back up. Ryan Cohen buy-in again. Bounce. So when Ryan Cohen buys in, that's the time to buy. Usually. It's not always perfect, but look at this one. This one's not very good. Although I think he got it on this dip right here. Pretty clean, actually. Not as good as the other ones, but you can see this first buy-in over here was just insane. Adding here. And then buying into these dips. The insiders know what they're doing. So we have a similar situation with UNH right now where the insiders are buying in after a huge pullback. So 50% discount off the top. And we got insiders buying a bunch of shares down here into the dip. So they're not really concerned about the bad news, it seems. And UNH is breaking out of a wedge right now. So we have a swing on this from 301. Pretty much dead center of that wedge. And hopefully this is going to just come all the way back up. We got to fill this gap right here back to 380. So short term, that's the goal. Long term, I don't know. Could probably make it back to 600. We'll have to see. But I'll probably sell it right here at 380. All right. Let's take a look at some small caps. Okay, NEHC talks with Enterprise for AI infrastructure expansion in Texas. How big is the deal? Does it say? Joint venture with Sharon AI. So it depends on how big Sharon AI is. Oh, just one of those fluff news stocks. Nothing crazy here. All right, we got some resistance at $4. So we have a ways to go to get to that. Pushing above $1. Okay. Add that one to the watch. Soar. Now this news is usually just fluff garbage, but it's good to know what's happening. Is it a biotech? Is it AI news? Is it Bitcoin news? What sectors are hot? You know, that kind of stuff. Let's see. To combine with M2I Global, so this is some sort of business combination, acquisition. Soar, another one of these recent runners, former runners. It's been pretty good in the past. Yeah, we'll keep that one on the watch too. Soar. All right, HSDT. Let me just show this one because this is what's been working great for short selling. But look at this. This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. I didn't hit that one, unfortunately. I was in another one that didn't actually work, but this is what's been working. Get a nice gapper, and then it bounces over VWAP. All day fade. You know, there's your 35%. And something happened in after hours too. I don't even know what that was. There was no offering or anything. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe there was a filing. See, that would be interesting to see exactly what happened. Let me just check the filings really quick on that. Let's see. HSDT. Okay, what happened yesterday? No filings, but they do have an offering queued up. Okay. CGTL. No news on this. So again, this is one that could bounce over VWAP, maybe become a short later. Squeeze out some short sellers. So we'll add that one to the watch. Let's see, CGTL. Okay, KLTO is bouncing from the other day. Nice looking bounce setup. And what's crazy with these bounces is you can have a crazy bounce. So this could actually break out over $4 if it truly gets crazy. Because you got short sellers over here that did really good on it, and they have some money to burn, so they want to rehit it on this bounce. But if it doesn't come down, where's it going to go? So we'll see. I like the bounce short idea on this, but gotta be a little bit careful. Sometimes it doesn't bounce much at all. So yeah, now one of the tricks is this VWAP from day one. What's the VWAP? It's like 280. So if this can get to 280, we can kind of treat that as a resistance and then a failed breakout move over 280. So that would be a good place to try if it could fail. Maybe make it over 280 a little bit and then fail 280. Because that's the average short seller from the 10th. So if we push 280, we're going to see what it's got. Is it going to squeeze or is it going to just fail? That'll be a big watch for today. CVAC's a mid cap, don't care about that. RSLS, interesting one. A little bit of a choppy move here, choppy start. You know, if Al was trading this, this is sort of an Al setup, but Al would be probably still hanging on to it. Yeah, okay. Definitely have to keep an eye on this one. It's a micro float, so gonna be super careful with it. But it's got to do something really nice or I just can't touch it. Let's see. We gotta add this to the watch. Who do we get rid of? Too many stocks. Okay, MRIN is kind of nice. Let's see. Let's just take a look at some of these from the watch. MRIN. See, multi-day. It's holding up over multi-day levels here, but the volume died on it. So I do like this one because if this comes back over $1.60, then this turns into a multi-day breakout. It's still hanging out, but the volume's dead. So it needs to come back up. So we'll move this one around on the watch list. Keep an eye on it still, but MRIN. Okay. GTI is too cheap. All right, that's all the gappers. We had a crazy overnight. I didn't trade it, but this is the overnight gap up setup. HCTI. It's a super cheap one, but if you got one of those free brokers, then it's doable. So you have to buy so many shares. But pretty nice gap up on that. So let's talk about my trade from yesterday. I got scammed, basically. Let's see here. Yeah, I tried VTAC because we had this whole theme of these sub-dollar stocks pushing over $1. And so I was expecting this one to fade today because we had a couple in a row, and usually they get weaker and weaker. So, which ended up being true. It still played out, but I got scammed and I stopped out. So I was up 20% on it, but I was looking for more like 30, 35, something like that. And it ended up just giving 20 anyways at the end of the day. But I learned from some of my other trades and from, just studying some stuff that the end of day covers are usually really good. And if you're expecting a big fade, you basically get out end of day. So since I learned that, that's what I was trying to do, and stopped out. Now I did move my risk down too, which if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have stopped out. So I was risking right around 84. Would have been tight though. And it's kind of prone to those wick outs. If you get wicked and then it comes down, that sucks. But the original risk did hold. And the end of day idea still worked really good. VTAC. Look at that. Look at this. That's insane. So we had it short at 72, 73, right over here. So we were up 20% right there into this dip. And then, you know, unfortunate. Got scammed. But then, man, look at the fade in after hours off this trend break. Jeez. That is crazy. So usually what I do, though, is I take the easy dip, the first dip, once my target area is hit. And this time I was trying to stick to that end of day rule, and yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know. You gotta be super patient, and you gotta pick your battles on that. But usually, if you're up pretty good, probably just take it. And then if it comes back up, you can re-hit it. So the trade idea did work, but maybe just don't lower the stop, or, take the easier dips, take the quicker dips, and re-hit it later if it comes back up. I mean, the trend break was just insane. So at least it's nice to see it working. And that's one of those things too, where the data will show you something, but the data doesn't show you where to put your stop necessarily, unless you're looking for that in your data. So mainly looking for the like the odds of an end of day cover, or what are the odds it's close right on the day type stuff. What's stop high a day? Stop was, pull it back up. What was it? I've already removed it from my memory. Yeah, VTAC. Yeah, my stop. So usually with this kind of stuff, I'm going to do the previous high as the stop. Because the previous high always, or not always, but a lot of times it gets wicked out. And so I was in right here around 73. So the previous high to that is right there, 82, which, look at that, it got wicked out right at 82. So that was not my stop. My stop was the previous high. But also I don't put it depends a little bit, but usually I put it under the high a little bit. Because if it gets crazy, then this will just start teleporting up, because everybody has their stops in the same spot. So I'm under them just a little bit, so I get out first. So my stop was 84. But it does depend a little bit. Sometimes you don't have a previous high. Then I'll use a hard stop, percentage stop. Yeah, the thing is, from what I've seen, End of day is very good. It is hard to beat end of day, but the way to beat end of day is to you aim for 20 or 30%. So when you can take it, you take it. And sometimes the end of day cover doesn't work and it will just reclaim. So, but sometimes it goes crazy, it'll just come down 40% and you'll never make 40%. So that's why it kind of balances out. You could almost just come back 2 minutes before the close and cover. You could almost do that. Just put your stop in and don't look at it. Yeah, I don't know if it's best RR or not, but when I was practicing these, I was trying to beat the end of day cover, and it's kind of hard to beat. But it seems like you get more consistent gains if you just you aim for 20 or 30% and then try to cover into dips, because usually you get bounces, you get reclaims, stuff like that. And then occasionally the end of day will just go nuts and just fade way more than you think it possibly could. And then that's where the end of day kind of catches back up. Yeah, end of day is pretty good. It is pretty good. It's definitely easier and it performs really, really well. Yeah, and so in terms of, I think, of ease plus performance, it's better. But then I think I do think it's possible to beat end of day, because sometimes the stuff just reclaims. So if you get out into dips under key levels, things like that, but you wait long enough, you got to still aim for 20 or 30%. Then I think if you're doing that, like this one, for example, on VTAC, usually what I would do is I want 20% or 30%. So there's a high right here. That's the most obvious key level on the chart. I want to get out below that high a little bit. So that would be right here. I was up 20%. Usually that's what I would have done. But this time I was trying to wait for end of day and it chopped me out. So, well, that's basically how you can beat end of day. It's harder though. It is harder. Yeah, basically, let's see here. We have to have the open. Open is now. Good luck. I'm going to wait for my setups. But let's see here. Yeah, this is my back test. It's not super complete, but this is me covering where I think I should get out versus end of day. and I'd have to go back and redo some of this. But basically, I was outperforming end of day uh, by a little bit. And it is harder, but this is just some back test I did. And it's not complete either. This is just kind of like sporadic testing for some random months between 2022 and 2025. But this is a short selling, like a day one gapper, day two. No, it's a day one gapper, yeah. I'm also looking at day two, but this one's day one. And so the blue line is end of day. The purple one is me covering where I think I should get out. And some of this I have to redo. So I think if I redid part of this, I would be beating end of day by a little bit, but it's a lot harder. Easy to screw it up. And end of day still does, I mean, basically the same. So it's almost like a style thing. Yeah, no worries. I've got, I'm just waiting for my setups here, so I don't usually trade right out of the gate. But anyways, that's my take on end of day. And I think maybe the other thing too with that is on a case by case basis. So if you can pick your battles on the end of day cover and maybe just do it on the ones that you think have better odds of fading end of day. And if you already know the end of day is good, and then you also pick your battles on which ones to try end of day on, then it might be even better. So maybe like a hybrid approach. Yeah, I got nothing right now. It does kind of feel like today is a little bit slower. There's still some nice gappers. But we just came off of a pretty nice wave of momentum in small caps. With the KLTO kicking things off. Now KLTO is kind of dying, and the sympathies are also dying from that. So I would expect easy faders maybe for at least a couple days, unless something else reignites things. K and W's, potentially turning into a multi-day breakout, but the volume again is just dead. Nice looking chart though. RSLS pushing a bit. RSLS is looking like the strongest one so far. Besides the 4-cent one. 4-cent stock, crazy. No news. Somebody's pumping this probably. $2 billion volume yesterday. And today. So we have riots starting. Playbook from a few years ago, you know. You get some riots going, you get a new COVID. Should be coming soon. We gotta pump our NVAC stock up. Still hanging out of that breakout area. Needs to do something though. Pfizer's pushing a bit. Adding near 698, okay. I might start trying some big cap trades. Just really short trades, but on the hour chart. Something that doesn't take a lot of managing, but maybe do some day trades like that. Yeah, it is pretty slow right now in small caps, but we are coming off of a crazy hot streak. Yeah, it seems like Intel is just a buy. Anytime it gets to 18 bucks, just buy it. When it goes over 20, sell it. All right, KLTO trying to bounce. I did take a little position at $1.90. Just reclaiming this moving average, so see if it can push a bit. I think it can push some. Probably room up to 280 if it gets going. See how strong it wants to be. I'm not going to give it too much room. Probably just flip it into pre-market highs if it can get up there. Probably give it one chance to hold a dip. Technically, it has done the gap fill, so it could just top out right here. All right, let's see if we can push. All right, I just locked in 7%. It is going higher. All right, that's pretty much the original target area. Looks like it can go more. I'd be out right there though. Still gonna watch it for the short setup. Looks like IONQ wants to break trend pretty soon. Has looks like maybe CoreWeave broke trend today. CRWV. RSLS ripping. Nice. I'm trying to short on KLTO. Got it at 201. See if it can stay weak. A lot of weakness right now. RSLS is the only one staying strong. So we'll see if KLTO can start fading here or if it wants to hold up. SOAR is coming back up. think I'll pass. This could be the top of SOAR. Just such a shallow dip. I don't like it. We'll see what it does at 4. There is a breakout at 4 at 380. See if it can get over that. Maybe we'll take a look at it again. Could be it though. No shares on that one, so I can't even try if I wanted to. RSLS still holding up. Really nice. I like to see the strength. See you, Scotty. Have a good one. All right, mainly waiting on KLTO to see what it's going to do. No other trades. Did take a nice long on it on the way up, so that was good. Yeah, SOAR was the top. SOAR topped out. All right, I'm gonna call it there. Probably just gonna wait for this to fade, see if it wants to come down or not. That's probably all I'm gonna do today. But we'll post that in the Discord later. Good luck, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow.